supplies.
When I have a general and I have to sign for a general because we have beautiful paper, the gorgeous paper, I said throw a little more gold on it, they deserve it. I want to use the big, beautiful, firm paper.
What? What is, and why is the paper like this? What is, I don't understand, what paper goes like this? Can we see, I'm sorry, what is this? Can we see the big, beautiful, firm paper he's talking about? There you go.
In today's spectacle-driven politics, Donald Trump turns leadership into a circus of chaos, ego, and self-promotion with Karoline Leavitt, fueling the drama through loud theatrics. Then comes Stephen Colbert, the satirical surgeon, cutting through their absurdities and turning every headline into a sharp, hilarious critique of political showmanship.
Keep in mind, my friends, Republicans control all three branches of government, including both chambers of Congress, but somehow, none of this is their fault.
The Democrats should know that they put the White House and the president in this position. And if they don't want further harm on their constituents back home, then they need to reopen the government. It's very simple. Pass the clean continuing resolution, and all of this goes away.
Wow, that is weirdly threatening. Can we see that from another angle?
Pass the clean continuing resolution.
Trump's latest move, a mix of contradictions and theatrics, perfectly captures his chaotic style of leadership. Each announcement feels like a magic trick revealed too soon, leaving everyone guessing. Colbert's satire cuts through the show, exposing Trump's pattern of boldness without coherence and bravado without results. While Leave It Over, the top antics only amplify the confusion and media frenzy.
Trump then turned his attention to modernizing the Navy.
Those ships, some people would say, no, that's old technology. I don't know. I don't think it's old technology when you look at those guns, but it's something we're actually considering, the concept of battleship.
Battleship. We're also considering the concept of Twister, the notion of Hungry Hippo, and of course, Yahtzee, or in my case.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Trump's flood of flashy announcements and executive orders often collapses under its own improvisation. Grand promises of reform meet the hard limits of bureaucracy turns these failures into sharp comedy, exposing the gap between performance and results, while Leavitt's loud theatrics only heighten the spectacle, making it impossible to look away.
Process that you follow. When a shutdown starts, people are what's called furloughed, okay? They don't come to work, they're not paid, but when the shutdown's over, everyone gets their job back, often with back pay. But now, Trump is threatening to use this excuse to fire a whole bunch more people from the federal government, posting, Republicans must use this opportunity of Democrat forced closure to clear.
On the world stage, Trump swings between flashes of brilliance and bursts of chaos. His diplomacy often feels more like a performance than a policy, leaving global leaders guessing. Colbert turns these moments into biting satire, exposing the absurdity behind Trump's showmanship, while Leavitt's dramatic flair only adds to confusion, turning every summit into political theater.
Trump also went very dark at times, warning the military brass about America's #1 enemy, Americans.
Last month I signed an executive order to provide training for a quick reaction force that can help quell civil disturbances. This is going to be a big thing for the people in this room because it's the enemy from within, and we have to handle it before it gets out of control.
In every crisis, Trump and Leavitt turn chaos into theater. Their press briefings mix half-truths with overconfidence, leaving the public confused, but entertained. Colbert cuts through the noise with sharp humor, exposing the gap between show and substance, while Leavitt's fiery sound bites keep the drama alive.
Notice, but ever since Trump got back into office, he's been waging a campaign of vengeance against his enemies, who he believes have been trying to take him down. Now he's focused all of his rage on the one foe who refused to take him up, and that is the UN escalator. So right now, yep. Let's take a fond look back at what happened on Tuesday. Trump walks up to the escalator, steps on, and no. That sudden stop was a close call, especially for the First Lady, because he almost touched her.
At home, Trump's administration turns policy into performance. Big announcements on economy and social programs come with fanfare, but delivery often collapses into confusion and media chaos. Colbert turns these stumbles into razor-sharp satire, while Leavitt's exaggerated statements amplify the show. Together, they create a non-stop loop of spectacle where drama always outweighs results.
Ted Cruz also weighed in to say how fun he thinks it is that only Democrats would be affected.
President Trump is going to use that as an opportunity not to tell people you're furloughed for a few days, but instead to send pink slips and to get rid of left-wing bureaucrats who are imposing left-wing priorities that are contrary to President Trump's priorities.
Yes, we need to get rid of people who are contrary to President Trump's priorities. And what are those priorities again, Ted?
Let's stop attacking pedophiles.
Trump's media moments are pure theater, bold, unpredictable, and chaotic. Press events and interviews blur confidence with confusion, feeding nonstop coverage. Core slices through the noise, turning contradictions into sharp satire, while Leavitt's social media spin amplifies every misstep. Together, they transform politics into an ongoing performance where spectacle always wins over substance.
That was just 2 days ago, right? That was 2 days ago. Nobody was hurt. They walked up the stopped escalator, sometimes known as stairs, but Trump just will not let it go. Last night, he went on social media and wrote all this about it. Skip recipe, skip to recipe. I don't want to know about your grandmother's childhood in Moldova. Just how do you make borscht? I don't want to know.
Trump's leadership is all spectacle and little substance. He launches bold proposals with fanfare, but details vanish and priorities shift overnight. Colbert turns these gaps into sharp comedy, exposing how performance replaces policy, while Leavitt's fiery sound bites amplify the confusion. Even his diplomacy mirrors the chaos. Every handshake and tweet feels scripted for show, leaving allies and critics guessing what's real.
Trump administration is using this shutdown really to punish anyone who didn't vote for him. They're cutting funding for federal projects in 16 states, all of which voted for Kamala Harris in last year's election. For instance, here in New York, they froze $18 billion in federal funds for New York City's mass transit system. You think you can scare New Yorkers? Really?
Colbert turns Trump's global blunders into sharp, accessible satire, while Leavitt's loud defenses only fuel the spectacle. Crises from disasters to political chaos are met with confidence and improvisation, blurring competence with confusion. Colbert exposes the irony behind the show as Leavitt's dramatic statements and social media spin keep the tension alive. Even press briefings mix boldness with ambiguity, creating a constant loop of comedy and chaos.
He described his harrowing experience the day the escalator died. The escalator going up to the main speaking floor came to a screeching halt. It stopped on a dime. It's amazing that Melania and I didn't fall forward onto the sharp edges of those steel steps face first. Now, usually when a drama queen throws that much of a hissy, at least Andy Kaun interviews them after this.
Colbert cuts through Trump's bluster, exposing contradictions and exaggerations with sharp wit, while Leavitt's loud defenses turn politics into theater. Trump's rallies, part show and part chaos, provide endless comedy as his dramatic gestures and off-script moments blur intent and execution. Core turns these slip-ups into satire, and Leavitt's online hype keeps the spectacle alive. A non-stop loop of drama, backlash, and laughter.
Office of Management and Budget has not publicly announced cuts that affected a state that backed Trump in 2024. Well, that is good news. Look, that is good news for federal projects in red states, like North Dakota's Ronald Reagan Oil Field and Memorial Whorehouse. You know their slogan, drill, baby, drill. That's also from Deadwood.
Trump's social and cultural battles fuel nonstop satire, His bold statements and selective facts turn serious issues into spectacle, while Colbert exposes the gap between ambition and reality with biting humor. Leavitt's passionate spin amplifies the drama, blurring politics with performance. Even Trump's judicial moves follow the same script: big promises, instant backlash, and chaos that keeps the spotlight burning.
Well, I tell you, folks, I definitely did not call this one, but evidently The Late Show has outlasted the United States federal government. We're still open, and they done shut down. But you know what? Maybe this is a good thing. You know, the government hasn't been working that great lately. Who knows why? Maybe somebody got the government wet. You know, let's unplug it for a while, plug it back in, see if it reboots. That doesn't work, maybe toss it in a bag of rice. Leave it there for a couple hours. Doesn't work, we'll just throw it away and buy a new one with a bag.
Trump's legal and political battles blur real governance with pure performance. Colbert cuts through the chaos, exposing clash of ego, ambition, and incompetence with sharp satire, while Leavitt's loud defenses turn it all into theater. Every policy rollout, rally, and courtroom moment mixes planning with improvisation, a spectacle where control constantly slips into chaos.
The White House has already demanded the UN find whoever was responsible for this escalator escapade. And in his post, Trump went further, saying, the people that did it should be arrested. Yes, it's police matter now, which brings us to another installment of our hit new CBS procedural, Escalator Investigator.
Colbert exposes the gap between Trump's grand plans and chaotic execution, while Leavitt's loud commentary turns every moment into political theater. Trump's rapid-fire tweets and constant reversals keep headlines spinning, and Colbert turns the digital chaos into sharp satire. Leavitt's spin only fuels the spectacle.